Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Joanne Smedley, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Commander Drew Downey. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial. Please stand and join in the singing of the National Anthem. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today we pay tribute to Warrant Officer Ronald Dow, who was killed on active service with the Royal Air Force during the Second World War. Ronald Arthur Dow was born on the 7th of May 1924 to Thomas Arthur Dow and Edith Gwendolyn Victoria Dow of the Sydney suburb of Five Dock. He was 18 years old and been working as an advertising clerk when he enlisted in the Royal Australian Air Force on the 20th of June 1942. Following his enlistment in the RAAF, Dow began training as a navigator and soon embarked for overseas service. As part of the Empire Air Training Scheme, he was one of almost 27,500 RAAF pilots, navigators, wireless operators, gunners and engineers who throughout the course of the war joined squadrons based in Britain. After arriving in Britain, Dow undertook further specialist training before being posted to No. 166 Squadron, Royal Air Force. As part of the RAF's Bomber Command, No. 166 Squadron was equipped with Vickers-Wellington twin-engine medium bombers and then 4-engine Avro Lancaster heavy bombers. The squadron was involved in many major raids, as well as laying mines in enemy waters, and would later be engaged in dropping supplies. On the 24th of December 1944, the Lancaster, in which Dow was the navigator, was participating in a daylight raid on the German city of Cologne when it was shot down. Dow and 5 of his 6 crewmates, 4 British crewmates and a fellow Australian flight sergeant, Desmond O'Halloran, were killed. Their bodies are buried side by side in the British and Commonwealth War Cemetery in Rheinberg, Germany. Ronald Dow was 20 years old. His name, along with that of Flight Sergeant Desmond O'Halloran, is listed on the Roll of Honour to my left, among some 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. This is but one of many stories of courage and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Warrant Officer Ronald Arthur Dow, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over, but in Australia they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. Thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and good evening.